Oh, this is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the whole thing. Hey guys, what's up? It's Whitney, and I am here at Spring Mill State Park in Mitchell, Indiana, and I'm staying the night. Let's do a tour and talk about the history and some of the haunts, so join me. Oh, and I have my friend Justin here.
You all should know me by now.
Yeah. Here's the view from my room. A lot of woods, you can see the road. Last night we walked around the place, checked out the gift shop, and then in the basement there's like this little recreation area, and then we sat by the fire and chilled for a bit. They came in here, watched TV, pigged out. We got kind of cold because we was walking around the village last night, but it was so cool. I was reading all the history.
I had my doors open. I didn't want to open my doors and then just be a magical downpour.
And here's where you go in, and the lobby. It's really cute.
By the mill, that little creek that runs through there, there's always green grass there. The water stays at a constant 50 degrees.
Wow.
That's why you're able to see such lush green grass in the wintertime by the creek.
So we were here the second week of February, and it was just so nice to get out and walk around. So in this area, one of the first settlers was Samuel Jackson, who came from Canada. And that was around 1814. And by 1817, he had a settlement and a grist mill in this area. This once bustling little village did end up going abandoned due to the railroad bypassing it. This village did go abandoned in the 1890s. By the 1920s, the state of Indiana took over, and during the restoration project, they brought a bunch of cabins that were around this area and rebuilt them and restored what they could. So this is the Sheik's cabin, and it was built in 1816, and it was moved to Spring Mill in 1933 during the restoration. It was the home of George and Elizabeth, who had 12 children, and their son David eventually took over the cabin, and he raised orphan Sam Bass. Sam eventually went out to Texas, and he became an outlaw. Now, there's this legend that states before he did pass away due to a robbing, he brought some of his loot back to his family, wanted to help them out, and they refused. So he buried some of the treasure somewhere in Lawrence County. And they say that his spirit roams the park so that he could be near his family's cabin. I did decide to turn on my ghost app, and it did say, I'm with my family. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. So now we are coming up to the Granny White house that was built in 1824 and moved to Spring Mill in 1931. Now, this was built on the original site of the 1813 Leesville Indian Massacre, which I thought was pretty interesting. So, Sally Cummins, later known as Granny White, she was originally from Connecticut, and she lived in New York and Canada with her first husband. Wanted to come out to Indiana. He passed away, and she ended up getting remarried to David White. And Sally and David had several children, but she also took care of several orphan children and eventually was known as Granny White. Nice. So you said this right here in a lot of homes, it was made because it was a way for airflow.
Yep, airflow.
All right. these two buildings is the apothecary and mercantile, and they were original to the village, were built around 1830 and restored in 1929. We're going into the apothecary. Now, they had their own, this village had their own doctor, Dr. Jacob Lemon. He was self-taught completely as a doctor and medicine as well, and he relied on the plants of the area for his medicine to treat his people in the village. And he did have to treat his patients during 2 different epidemics, cholera and smallpox. Oregano and lamb's ear. Oregano was like a natural antibiotic back then. Lamb's ear was good for wounds and bleeding. Ooh, we'll have to do that. We'll have to check that out. Stinging nettle. I love stinging nettle. It's good for allergies. Like all this stuff I know about, and I use some of it still today. It was good medicine, but nothing like antibiotics, for certain things. Now, for this specific cabin, I couldn't find any information, but Justin wanted to show me this painting in here. It's a little bit different. He does reenactments. He stayed here multiple times, stayed the night, and his buddies claim that this specific cabin is haunted. He's going to tell us a story. I couldn't find any information online to show like if the backstory is true or not, but something weird did happen.
You can go upstairs.
Oh, what a nice
Oh,
fireplace.
there she is.
Oh my God, right as you said that,
What?
I saw something come towards me.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I felt something walking towards me right as you said that.
Yeah.
Okay, why don't you tell me?
So this lady here, I forget what her name was, is she was killed by her husband, and they don't know what I've never heard of what they did with her body, but it just said that when you come and take a photo of this picture, it looks like there's blood running
I
down
see
her
it right
eye.
now.
Yeah, but yeah, and that could be just from what's covering the painting itself, like an oil, something like that. But
Oh, and people leave her offerings, I'm
Yep.
guessing.
Mhm.
I see all these
Yep.
coins and money. Oh. Okay, I'm going to go upstairs and check it out. Oh my gosh, this house is pretty big. It's like a maze. Oh. Wow, so nice. This wreath was made from human hair in the late 1800s. So we are coming up to the Grist Mill, which is a very important structure of Spring Mill Village. So the original one was built in 1817. By the time the park had bought this land, it was in ruins, so they restored it. It took 3 years to restore, and it was done in 1930. So this became a really popular part of the town because farmers would come from all over to have their grain grinded, and eventually people would come and stay the night while they were grinding it. Due to The grist mill doing so well, they did add several other businesses, a tavern, distillery, and a sawmill, and even a stagecoach shop. It was a stagecoach trail in the area. So they were actually closed. We stuck our head in and they said we could go ahead and come look around, which was so nice. So I believe this was about 3 floors. It is loaded with information talking about the Native Americans, what the first settlers were like in this area, what it was like in that time period, their daily life, their fashion, and everything. So it was super cool. All right, we're on the 3rd floor. There's so much to see if you guys come.
That's the Hamers who visited this. So this one and all this was still abandoned.
Oh, that is so cool.
And a big tub of salt.
Wow.
That's where you got the term salt pork from. Ooh, yeah, that's not creepy at all.
Oh my goodness.
Here's more pictures of the village.
Yeah. The entrance of Hammer Cave. Yeah, guys, there's a lot of caves in the area.
So this was basically Stagecoach Road. It would come down, it would follow all the way down this mountain, or this hill. It would come down through here, you would stop where your little step you're at, well there's only one. Stagecoach would basically pull over right here.
Yeah.
This would help you get out, in and out of the stagecoach, where they had to ride so high. You get out and you could go where you needed to go. You go to the tavern, you know, whatever. Then when it was time to leave, you would get back into the stagecoach, of course.
Wow.
And you would take this, and this right here, as it veered. So if you can imagine this just going straight, that is the part of the stagecoach road. So
Wow.
right here. So here you have the canal going down from Terre Haute to Evansville. You have New Albany. This was the first stage line right here in 1820.
Wow.
And then as you see
So,
with the railroad,
did they hire people to drive them, or were they didn't own them themselves normally?
No, you would have hired a stagecoach to took you places.
Oh, okay.
So that if you see here, so where did I just sit? So you know, right here, ran through Spring Mill, the village is a hub of commerce. By the 1850s, two railroads had been built by nearby Mitchell. Trains replaced stagecoaches as means of travel. And basically, this is how it was abandoned.
Wow.
Trains basically, it was no longer needed.
Because of trains.
Because it would just cut right through.
Oh my gosh. Distillery.
Mm-hmm.
I can't read that down there.
That's the tavern. That's a wood shop.
Wow, that's so cool. So people can actually take that trail.
Yeah, that goes. Yep.
That is so cool. So much history.
Mm-hmm.
That's the mill office.
Mill office, schoolhouse, and that's just what they call it. They just call it the garden cabin.
Check this out, guys. This tree and the old steps.
There. That's all it's going to do is just gather up.
Oh,
Somebody lost a
Lord.
flip-flop.
I see that. It's a bubble bath. You want to get in there?
You go right on ahead.
It's probably about 30 degrees out here.
Probably.
the Hammer Cemetery. I love that archway. I love that it talks about the different symbols on the graves and what they mean. Oh, this instantly caught my eye. So precious. So we're in the town of Mitchell. We wanted to come check it out. It's a cute small town. Huckleberry's Bakery? That sounds so cute.
I was hoping to.
Regeneration? Is that?
That's one of them. And
Oh.
then there's the other one right there. Oh, can we not get to it?
Oh. Yeah, we can.
Oh, okay. Oh, they just fenced all that off. Buddy, I'm going to turn there.
There's another antique store.
Oh, good. Right across the street from one another.
Let's go check them out.
All right, hang on. You got to give me a minute.